Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I decided to do a review on the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault collection. So I have it right here. This is the package that it came in, and this has a picture from her photo shoot in the back. So she says that when she was creating the original Jaclyn Hill palette, it was really hard for her to narrow down to just 35 shades. So they had a lot of other shades that they wanted to eliminate, so they called it the Vault collection because these were the shades that didn't really make it into the original Jaclyn Hill palette. Okay, so this is it. So I know that there's been a lot of talk about this palette. So for the original launch date, it was some people that got it in PR received like shadows that were kind of like patchy and weren't blending as well. And so Morphe and Jaclyn said that it was a pressing issue, so they stopped the launch, the original launch. They canceled that. They had a like launch party kind of thing at the Morphe store in Las Vegas, and a lot of people there pre-ordered it and they received the same products that the PR people received. Some of them just weren't blending as nicely. There was just issues with swatches and a lot of stuff like that. So they canceled the launch, like I said, and then they took back the shadows and repressed all of them and gave people the new and refurbished shadows. So a lot of people have been saying that the new one is still the old one. So I don't have the old one to kind of compare with that, but I really don't see why they would do that. I mean, I know that the thing I love about Jaclyn, why she's one of my favorite people, is that she seems like she cares so much about what she puts out there and about like her audience. And she even calls herself like a perfectionist when it comes to that, and I think that's great that she really wants to make sure that the products she puts out there are 100% what she wants them to be. So I don't feel that they would do that. That just doesn't really make sense. People were saying that these numbers, the batch codes in the bottom, were the same as the original ones, and I mean, why would you throw out like hundreds of thousands of boxes that you already have made just because the inside product got repressed? So I think that would be a waste of money. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense for them to use the same boxes. Okay, so this is a little box that it comes in. Here are the 4 palettes, and there's like a ribbon so that it's easier for you to pull them out. I really love the PR package that it came in. It was like a mini like safe vault kind of thing. That was so cute. I entered the giveaway, but I didn't win, unfortunately. But I just think that was so cute. I wish this was that, because it's just such a cute idea. I love it. So here are the 4 palettes: Ring the Alarm, Dark Magic, Armed and Gorgeous, and Bling Boss. So I'm actually going to be doing 4 different looks using these palettes because they are all, I can't do just one. They're so beautiful, all 4 of them. And let me show you guys just what they look like. So this is the Bling Boss palette. So they have like purples, mauve, pink tones, kind of just like that kind of range of colors. So that one's really pretty. And the next one is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. Also on the packaging here, they have like little like confetti coming out of it, and they're the color that like the palette kind of corresponds. So Armed and Gorgeous is kind of like the warm toned yellow green colors. So the confettis here are yellow. So this is a palette right here. I really love this one. This is one of my favorites out of all the 4 because I love these warm tone colors. They're just perfect for fall that's coming up. And these colors actually match the shirt I'm wearing like perfectly right now. So I'm really excited to do this look. Okay, the next one is the Dark Magic. Now this one is probably my favorite out of all the 4. I know I said I like the other one, but this one, look at that. Like I love the coordination of these colors, like the greens and the blues and like these shimmers. It's so pretty. I'm so excited for this one. I love this one. Also, since this is like my favorite one, I purchased an extra one to include in my giveaway once I reach 100 subscribers. So make sure you guys are subscribed because that'll be coming very soon. I think we only need 2 or 3 more subscribers. So yep. Okay, and lastly we have the Ring the Alarm. This one is also a beautiful palette. It is kind of like reds, another warm tone palette. It's kind of golds and like rosy colors, so that one's really pretty as well. Alright, so I'm really excited to try these out. This collection is so beautiful. I love the concept of the Vault collection, and I love that they did these 4 palettes. I think that's so cute, and I love that you can purchase them kind of as a bundle and individually, because I know that not everybody likes all the colors, but I definitely wanted to get them all to try them out and to make this review for you guys. And I think that the packaging is really nice, that this size of a palette is kind of standard for a lot of palettes. And I think it's a good amount of shadows, 10 shadows, and of course it has a mirror, which I love. I think mirrors are just kind of a necessity in palettes because I hate palettes that don't have a mirror, and I'm just like have to use other ones, and it's just so much more convenient to use a palette that has a built-in mirror. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start these 4 looks. I'm going to do kind of a voiceover for most of it because I don't want to make a video too long. This intro is already long enough, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm not really sure which palette to start off with. Let's see, I'm just going to close my eyes and mix them up and pick one. Alright, what's this one? This is the Ring the Alarm palette. We're going to go ahead and do a look with these beautiful warm tones right here. Alright, so I don't really know what look I'm going for. Just looking at the shadows, I'm already inspired by a lot of them. But I'm like, I don't know how people come up with such creative looks, like where to put each color and kind of like to do a winged look or a halo eye or a cut crease. And it's just so many options. I don't know, but with this, I'm kind of feeling, I don't know, I think I'm feeling a halo eye with this look. What do you guys think? So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so here I just used the shade Rush and I put that all over the lid just to really blend it out, and I just kind of built upon it and just to use it as a transition shade. So yeah. So that color blended actually really nicely. So from that color, I don't think there was any pressing issues with that one. I know a lot of people were saying again that they didn't really repress them and stuff, so I don't think that's true, like I said. But I'm going to keep using all the other shades and let you guys know in the end. Alright guys, so here I used the shade Mugshot and I put that directly into the crease and just blended it upwards with the shade Rush, and I found that it blended really nicely, as you guys can tell, so I had no problems with this shadow either. Okay, and here I use the shade Framed, and I just put that in the inner and outer corners of the eye to create that halo effect, and it blended really nicely into the other shadows. And here I applied the shade Boom. It's kind of a shimmer shade, and I just applied that directly onto the center of the lid. Alright, so next I used the shade Mugshot, and I just used that in the lower lash line, and then the shade Framed, just to kind of create the same effect on the lower lash line as the top and blend it upwards. Alright, so I'm done with that. I'm going to go ahead and do my lashes and all that stuff, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I am back. I just finished this look and I put some lashes on. I am wearing the Embelashes in the style Dreamy. These are so nice. I'm surprised I didn't try them before. I love how they look because they have like space in between them, and so they're just like really like fluttery, and that's like my kind of lash, so I really love these. So you guys can get your first month free at the subscription with the code Deanna11. You guys should definitely check them out. They have amazing lashes from what I've seen. So yeah, anyways, so back to the palette. So the shadows blended really nicely from what I used. I used these shades Rush, Mugshot, Framed, and Boom. So the Framed had a little bit of fallout that kind of got on the palette here, so there's that, but everything else blended actually really nicely. As you guys can see, they all blended pretty effortlessly, and they're super pigmented. I actually did some swatches. I'm going to show you guys right here. Alright, so here are the swatches. As you guys can see, some of them were patchy, and like they definitely needed to be built up a lot. But when I did them on my eye, there was no problem. So you guys can see like here, this is a shadow that I used on my eye, and that took about like 5 or 6 swatches to do, and even so it's like really light and not much product came off. But on the finger, when I touched the actual shadow, there was a lot of pigment. It just didn't really apply as nicely on my arm. But like as you guys can see on my eyes, there's a lot of pigment and didn't require that much. I was actually really careful because it was so pigmented when I picked it up on the brush, and I was like had to tap off because there's a lot of excess. and they blended really easily. As you guys can see, there's a lot of pigment there. It all came off on the eye correctly. So I think that's what really matters. I mean, swatches don't really matter. I'm not really sure why though, that it doesn't really swatch as nicely as it does on the eyes. But anyhow, it applied beautifully onto the eyes. So yeah, that was just so you guys could see what the swatches were like. I know that a lot of people can be misled with that. When you see swatches, you kind of expect it to perform that way on your eyes, but that's not really the case here because, like I said, a lot of the swatches didn't really do the shadows justice, and I'm pretty sure Jaclyn said that in her first video about the lunch. So yeah, you can see, you guys, she was right about that. Alright, so yeah, this is the final look. I just kind of did, this reminds me kind of like a bronzy look I did. I feel like I could have been a little more creative, but it kind of just turned out like this. But the shadows, like I said, were really beautiful on this palette. Here they are again. And yeah, so I like how this look came out. Again, the shadows are super pigmented and blended really nicely. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next look. Alright, so for the next palette, we're going to be using the Bling Boss palette. I'm really excited to use this one because I don't really do a lot of purple looks, and so I'm really looking forward to using this one. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright, so once again, I don't really have a look in mind. We're just going to go ahead and jump right in and see where this takes us. Alright, so here I use the shade Hush Hush, and again, I kind of put that all over the lid just to create a sort of transition shade. Alright, so here I'm just going in with the shade Rockstar, and I'm putting that again directly into the crease and just blending it upwards with the Hush Hush shade. Alright, so here I'm just using the shade Buried Treasure, and I'm applying that directly onto the lid. Sorry I keep looking off to the side, by the way. I was watching the White Collar finale for like the third time. If you guys haven't seen that show, then you definitely should because it is one of my favorites. And here I'm just using the shade Bling Bling to highlight the inner corner. Next I'm using the shade Gem for the lower lash line and just blending it out. Alright guys, I am back and this is the finished look. I'm sorry I kind of cut it off there. I just went ahead and finished the other eye. And I added some glitter. It is the NYX glitter right here. And I'm wearing, again, the same lashes as I wore for the last one, the Dreamy Lashes by Embelashes. So I really, really like how this look came out. Actually, I was a little iffy of it at first. I used Hush Hush and Rockstar, Bling Bling, and Buried Treasure. So I really thought that this would kind of show more. I thought it was more of like a purple, like a really deep purple, and then with like the reflex in it. But it's really like, it's like a black really, and then you can kind of see the reflex, but not really. They kind of get lost when you blend away. So I was a little disappointed at that, but other than that, they were really beautiful. Oh, I also used Gem under the eyes. I used it on the lash line. So other than that, they were really, really nice. They blended all beautifully. I didn't really have any issues with these, anything blending. There wasn't really much fallout either, not even with Buried Treasure, but I used a really precise shader brush to pack it on. So I really like that so far. I'm going to go ahead and show you the swatches I did of them. Alright, so these are the swatches right here. As you can see, the mattes are the only ones that are really a little difficult to blend, but this one actually came out better than the last one. It didn't take as many swatches to get this outcome, and this one swatched really nicely. This is only from 2 swipes, and you can see here, you can see kind of like their like pink flecks of glitter inside of that. This one swatched beautifully. Everything else is pretty nice. You can't see some of these because they're a little like champagne colored, so they're a little light and they kind of get disguised in my skin. But other than that, it swatched really nicely. So yeah. Alright, so this is how the look came out. Again, I really liked it. It looks really pretty, especially with that glitter on top. And the colors blended really nicely, so I definitely like this palette. Purples aren't really a color that I go for, but there's a lot of shades here that I actually would probably use. Like these shimmer shades, I would definitely use a lot. I also use this matte here. There's a lot of nice transition shades. You don't have to go for the pop of color, but this quadrant right here is really nice. This right here, again, I probably wouldn't use this on a regular basis. I don't really wear looks like these too much, but I really wanted to try this color out and see how it applied on the lid. Alright, so now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next palette.